Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Levham's Labyrinth. I appreciate everyone who's been coming through, looking at my videos, looking at the channel. I just ask that before we continue with this video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Just trying to grow the channel, just trying to tap into new bounds I've never done, and slowly but surely make my way towards monetization. So every like, every share, every comment, subscribe, it definitely helps. It gives me a longer way, a step closer to the next goal, the next steps. So let me go ahead and step right into it with Levham Labyrinth, episode 1. What is missing from Swgoh, or Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Units that are missed opportunities. Okay, so where we're at in the game is definitely taking off into Galactic Republic, Separatist, Gungans, Jedi with the new Naboo raid on the way. So let me go ahead and start with what's trending right now. In my personal opinion, Galactic Republic. What I noticed is that we are still missing a Wolf, a Gregor, and a Crosshair. Definitely an emphasis on the Crosshair right now, especially because we're in that weird phase of, oh, well, we're Galactic Republic. 9 out of 10, they may or may not add clones to the new raid, but just in case they decide to incorporate that because they have the Galactic Republic tag, we could just go ahead and just say, yes, give us Wolf, give us Gregor, give us Crosshair. Hell, even give us a clone commando. We could go ahead and use one of those as well. Maybe not. We can just see where the game goes. A clone commando would definitely be nice. Give it like a buff to clone, so to speak, so that way we're not just heavily relying on Gas's lead or just the Bad Batch. You know, what if we can use a Commander Cody and a clone commando, pay homage to the Bad Batch season 7. Star Wars Clone Wars season 7, when we first got introduced to the Bad Batch. You know, something of that nature, something a little bit different. But I will step backwards a little bit, or backtrack into something that has already been shown in the game, and I'll say that'd be the Aegon Kolar and the Sassy 10. Granted, they were placeholders for the C event. They didn't provide much of anything, or did I say C? I meant for the no, it was C, for the C event. Yes, definitely C event. I don't know why I got that confused, but definitely placeholders for a C event, the same way that they went about Zori Bliss, and the fact that they had her as a character in a GL event and then they brought her into the game. I can see them doing the exact same thing, because as we know, Sassy 10 was actually in the background at the very end of the closing ceremony of the Phantom Menace, so that perfectly fits right then and there. Aegon Kolar, there's not much history about him except for the fact that he was supposed to be the one of the Order's greatest swordsmen, but we know that's hearsay. We Plo Koon, Yoda, Windu, Kenobi, Ahsoka. We could go down the list. Do I even have to say Anakin? But you know, that's neither here nor there. Two characters that I would like to see brought into the game that they brought onto the screen first, and now it would be more sense to have them. Yaddle would be a nice addition. I feel like she would plug and play well with the Ki-Adi-Mundi asset of the game, in the High Council, so to speak. Definitely be nice to have her added as well, just to expand the Galactic Republic Jedi, because where we're at in the game, granted, we have good Galactic Republic characters, but when we get to Galactic Republic Jedi, you get to your Eth Koth, you get to your Luminara Unduli, you get to your Barriss Offee, you get to your Kit Fisto, you get to your Ayla Secura. Those are really just like D to F tier. Like, they are so D to F tier, you can't really do anything with them besides like, oh, I'm filling in the squad here, I'm filling in the squad there. You're making things happen here and there. There's not really much to do there. So, you know, with Yaddle, that would be a nice addition. And the second Jedi that I would add, which would be, you know, fan fiction, or more so hope, and in addition to potentially the new TB, would be Gungi. I feel like Gungi would be a nice addition to the Wookiee faction and the Jedi faction. Give him new buffs or debuffs that we haven't seen before. I feel as though he deserves to get a survivor tag, which would be nice. Something different to pay homage to those who have survived Order 66, which could then, it can go to anybody who has done that. You know, it doesn't have to be strictly anybody who was a Jedi, so to speak, because if for all intents and purposes, you could put Old Ben, Hermit Yoda, Ahsoka as Order 66 survivors and give them a tag, or better yet, you can somehow code the game to pay homage to those who has survived Order 66. So if Gungi is tagged with a player, with a character who has survived Order 66, they get this particular buff. The same way that Padawan Obi-Wan has discipline for with Qui-Gon and Queen Amidala, if they're on the same team, they can code it like that. If Gungi is paired with another Order 66 survivor, they get a new buff, the survivor buff, where they can go into stealth for 4 turns beforehand, you know, or like we'll say 3, 5, you know, whatever pays homage to the amount of years of reference that these characters have been in hiding. I feel like that'd be nice to have. But let me move on, because I'm staying stuck on Galactic Republic and I can go on and on. Since we are talking about Queen Amidala right about now, Captains Tanaka and Typho. Captain Tanaka, I was shocked that he even made it to episode 2, but I understand that the Captain's Guard or the Queen's Guard is with the Queen, so to speak. But that didn't explain Captain Typho, which, since he was around in episodes 2 and 3, I think that he should go ahead and be added as well. Maybe we'll get him as a add-on to Galactic Republic. Maybe we won't. He probably will be down the line, but who knows? And then my last one for Galactic Republic, my favorite, I think that we may get a passive non-combatant Chancellor. I don't see why not. His influence of the Galactic Republic as a whole makes him prominent enough to be present. If we were able to have Mon Mothma, who for all intents and purposes was considered the figurehead of the face, so to speak, the image of the Rebel Alliance, once she verbally and openly succeeded from the Empire, then we can have a Chancellor Palpatine who kind of serves as the face of the Republic. So, yeah, a little bit of that. For Separatists, because that's still trending right now, we're still on characters that I missed from the game, I would say we could get a Rick Tamson. And for those who don't know who Rick Tamson is, if you started off watching the Clone Wars at the beginning of season 3, I think, where it was the Water Wars, Admiral Akbar is shown in an episode of the Clone Wars, and then it is the Princely Char, his father was murdered, so they're fighting for control over the aqua world of the, oh my goodness, I forgot the name of the species. This is so bad. But basically, where Admiral Akbar's home world, Admiral Radiss's home world, the Mon Cala, that planet, where they're fighting for control over Mon Cala. That'll be a great addition, especially just as like one more filler and give us more reasons to leave Jango alone and push and leave Jango with bounty hunters and give more like separatist faction, because Jango, by all intents and purposes, is nice and so is Asajj, but we need more separatists by themselves, which leads me to just filler units that I have available for separatists as well. The Commander Battle Droid, right? That Battle Droid is the battle droid that group shots everyone, gives debuffs, buffs here and there. I think that that'd be a nice addition, along with the sniper droid. The way it ramps, that's the only separatist droid that has protection up. The only one. I would like that. The commando droid. Granted, we have that on Afra, but Afra is locked with dark side scoundrels droids. You can put any other droids with Afra and you can be okay. You can put Chrysanthemum, Darth Vader with Afra and you can be okay. It kind of tears apart the team a little, so you really have to figure out what you're going to use. Some would say Imperial Probe droid, but if you don't have that, then why would you put that? It doesn't make sense. IG-86, if you don't have that, especially at high relics, why would you put that? So it's just things that you should think about when it comes to building those teams. Again, the sniper droid, commando droid, having an armor shred for separatist teams in general, I feel like that's needed now. We don't have that at all. We have Droidica who, you know, ramps charge, but sniper droid is more efficient in that regard if we don't want to give separatists a armor shred, because the way that the sniper droid ramps up charge, it gets to 10 to 15 stacks easily, whether or not you have it as a summonable unit. If it's a summonable unit in a galactic conquest and a territory battle, it ramps up. So definitely opportunity there. Ooh, we're at the 11-minute mark already. No one told me that content creating could take so long. We're just gonna be natural about it anyway. Probably make this one about a good 20-minute video, real quick, real simple. Moving on, I say that we may enter an era of UFUs where unaligned force users are coming back into the fray. Why? Because we only have one set squad of it, unaligned force users, and while we do have a star killer team that uses a mix of them, when you do your mix and match and then you try to like really make teams, you only have one unaligned force user team, which is mainly the Seer and the Malicos team and whatever leftover unaligned force users you have available. And depending on how you want to mix and match your roster, then you could switch it up however way you would like to. However, that doesn't leave us with much left. So unaligned force users that I would like to see come to the game, potentially because of the fact that they don't really have a home, would be a new Ezra, where we see a more aged 10-year, 15-year Ezra come into the mix. It'd be about 10 years, right? 10, 15. You know, he doesn't have an alliance. Granted, he can use the force. He can wield a lightsaber. If we have a lightsaber wielding Ezra, that's fine. Same with Sabine, right? The Sabine we have currently is a Darksaber Sabine, which is nice. I feel as though we were to get Sabine, should be along the lines of like the Padawan Obi-Wan, where her kit is real simple. She shouldn't be able to do too much. Maybe even the new Master Qui-Gon, where she's able to assist with the Force. Oh my God, hand's so big. Whoa. Yeah, assist with the Force like how she did on episode 6 or 7 of Ahsoka. 1, 2, 3, 4. I forgot how many episodes of Ahsoka, but basically the last one. And then lightsaber wielding as well. That'd be nice. But also something that can show like Sabine can soak up damage even as an attacker, because honestly, besides the Mandalorian, we didn't see people taking blaster bolts to the body with Beskar armor. And in Ahsoka, Sabine is constantly getting shot at like it's nothing, using her wrist rocket, her blaster, and a lightsaber, like a unrelenting force. Nobody, even Boba or Mando, has done something of that nature. So I would like something that pays homage to that. Other UFUs from the Ahsoka show, Baylan, Shin, they have an untold story. We don't know what that will look like, but just them being present in the show, we can go ahead and just have them. We can go ahead and just have them present and just make them be there. Huang is another one. Huang is one of those combination units that I would like to have between Empire and Droid, mainly because Empire Droid, I say Empire and Droid, Jesus Christ, I'm thinking about the Crosshair and the clone combination. Jedi Droid, right? Something along the lines of Lobot when he got here to rework. And mainly because, think about it, Huang was there with the younglings. He has built thousands of lightsabers. The fact that he survived the purge in and out of itself of Order 66 past the Empire speaks almost legacy. Like, yeah, Jedi Master Luke was trying to rebuild the Order, New Jedi Order, but Huang is off in a distant galaxy with the remnants of the what we can call the Grand Republic, the Galactic Republic at this point, right? Essence of the High Republic. He's that. So it'd be nice to have him. And then ending off with Ufus, which could even potentially be a GL. The daughter, the son, and the father. And for those who are new to this channel, if you be like, well, that's so ambiguous, that's literally what it's called in the Star Wars universe. So if you go look it up on any Wikipedia, fandom, Star Warspedia, they're literally called the father, the daughter, and the son. The daughter represents the light side of the force. The son represents the dark side of the force. And then the father represents the balance, the middle, so to speak. And so for Star Wars watchers, you noticed how in the Ahsoka show, the statues were broken, or the statue of the daughter was broken, but not of the father and the son. Of course, that's foreshadowed for what's to come. The dark side is always looming in the air, and the light side is always struggling, because the light side do so well to vanquish their enemy, but they don't never, like, eradicate the enemy. They vanquish the major threat, though. They always do. So, yeah. More characters, and I know you're like, damn, he is not stopping. He just keeps on going. Well, I can keep going. That's the whole point of content creating. Why stop when I can always have something to talk about, right? Duh. More Jedi Survivor content. For those who like Cal Kestis, for those who like the sequel of Fallen Order, I haven't played it myself, but I like watching the campaign playthrough. So I'm a bit caught up on the characters that are in the game, and more characters that should be fleshed out in Swgoh should be Bo Dakuna. For the whole point of the game, Cal has teamed up with this person who is again an Order 66 survivor, who ultimately is a bounty hunter for Jedi. He is a bounty hunter technically. He could have his own unique ability called Traitor, Survivor, Rogue Survivor, however you want to look at it. Eno Cordova, he could be a great one. Why? Mainly because that was what the first game with Cal was about. Fallen Order was about making sure that this legacy of characters, or Jedi or potential Jedi, these Force potential children, don't fall into the wrong hands. So just from that, and then you actually get to meet him in the second one. Granted, it's very short-lived. It's still just nice paying homage to that. Again, another non-combatant, which we have about 5 of them in the game, but we have so many other characters. We have more healers than non-combatants, and the healers get to stay in the game. So what we might as well have Eno Cordova as another non-combatant Jedi, or unaligned Force user healer, or non-combatant. I don't see why not. Another character that we could pay homage to, Dagan Gera. Dagan Gera, we can go ahead and say he should be thrown in there. His Force potential was unmatched in the game, in Survivor, and why not? We can start making our way into the High Republic era, because the Acolyte is coming around the corner. And so we would be fools if Capital Games didn't try to, monetize the new arrival of the Acolyte. Because again, that speaks, 100 years before the Phantom Menace. So that's basically the end of the High Republic. If it's 100 years before the Phantom Menace, and Dagan Gera was locked away, 200 years before the events of Order 66? Yeah, little connection there, but I could be pulling straws, grasping for air, who knows. Ravis and the Bedlam Raiders, the 2 lieutenants, Drya Thorn and Tay Glaush. I think those could be great add-ons, just fillers for scoundrels, even if they're just scoundrels. Lastly, ships. I'll make this real quick, because this is now 20 minutes, and no, I shouldn't be rushing my videos, but I'm still growing my content, and I can't have everybody falling asleep on me just yet, or saying TLDR or TLDW, right? Okay, so ship tunnel fleets. or ship to the fleet combos that are missing, in my opinion. Galactic Republic, N1 Naboo Starfighter, definitely have to pay homage for that. Seeing a video about Zero being asked, should we be owed for a fleet chase or galactic chase? Yes, and if we don't get the N1 Naboo Starfighter as the fleet chase, then galactic chase, then I don't know what could be next. A few other ones that could give us an extra fleet for Galactic Republic, the V-Wing and the Torrent Starfighter. Just those two would just give us something to play around with. You know, those could be considered clone ships, which would then make the Endurance fleet with Bad Batch very more viable. As you know, the Bad Batch is not the Bad Batch, the Marauder, the Bad Batch's ship. The Marauder has a viable unique that synergizes with clone ships way more. So just providing more clone ships so that way the Bad Batch can, lead his own fleet. I feel like the Negotiator, even without the Marauder, is a grade A fleet. Granted, you won't be able to do some off-meta things because you pulled your Marauder off of the Negotiator, but if you put your Marauder with the Endurance, and we have these two new ships, and hell, three if you include the N1 Naboo Starfighter, if you can include the V-Wing, if you include the Torrent Starfighter, we can just go ahead and have a fully fleshed out second fleet. Going to Separatist, Asajj's ship, we could definitely use that in the game. We have Asajj's personal, you can call it Solar Sailor. I call it the solar fan, so to speak, because of the fact that when it opens, it's shaped like a fan. So, add that, the droid tri-fighter. We have buzz droids, but we don't have the thing that hatched the buzz droids, Granted, the missiles did too. However, from what I remember, the droid tri-fighter was the ones who shot the missiles, and then they were the ones who let the buzz droids out. So we should have that. The droid gunship, the one that unfortunately led to what we have as Saw Gerrera, right? Those should be added to the game, because even in Star Wars Battlefront, the 05 version, 03 version of Battlefront, you had that as a playable ship. Granted, it was a troop tranship ship, it was still a playable ship. Which, as I piggyback onto this, we should have the gunships, the LAAT gunships for Galactic Republic. Those should be in game as well, because those were capable of being in space. Granted, those should not have been space combat ships, but we're going to put the droid gunship that was carrying troops and, annihilating people in space. We should also throw that in there as well, just as an option. Dooku Solar Sailor, we could have that. Our first non-combatant ship. Who knows? Dooku, that has more stealth capacity. So, maybe we can add more stealth and being able to do the same. If by chance we get a trench ship, which everybody thinks we will get a trench capital ship, we can have Dooku Solar Sailor, Asajj's ship, and then a droid tri-fighter, or even a droid gunship, right? Because again, the droid gunship was even in Lightside GOTB as a ship for us to like take out. So we should have that. It should be present, at the very least. And if we have that with Trench's ship, we can have a whole new fleet, and we can leave the whole Grievous fleet alone with the Hyena Bomber, the Geos, and then the Vulture droid. Or maybe we could even repaint do a Trade Federation Vulture droid. Who knows? Nobody knows. Lastly, Rebels. Rebels could use some love, in my opinion. We have these ships. We had Cal Katarn's ship given to us because of the fact that Profanity was coming, and there's nothing uplifting about it. The fleet is just not it. And when it comes to Admiral Akbar, what's missing is Red 5, and we know it. And if Capital Games, if Swgoh doesn't want to give us a Red 5, that's fine. Give us the A-Wing, give us the B-Wing, give us something to freshen up that fleet, because that fleet is missing so much. And honestly, I like using Akbar as an off meta to C tier things. Like I use it against First Order all the time. I use it against Raditz all the time. I use it against BS Rebels all the time. BS Empire. BS Galactic Republic if I can. Like I like trying to cheese it because if I can, if it's viable early on, then when I invest the relics into these crew members, Kyle Katarn, my bigs is still relic 3. And a lot of people be like, well, why is your bigs relic 3? There's not much more investment outside of ships. But when you really think about it, once you have profundity, you don't really need to invest into that. You can just go ahead and slide Castian's U-Wing and maybe Biston's U-Wing if you really want to be honest. And by the time you're even doing that, you've picked apart your first reinforcement and your second reinforcement for the rebels. So at that point, you're literally running a 3-man fleet. You're not doing anything. So there's no point in my bigs investment. Relic 3 could stay there. Hell, if you want to pay homage to Andor, we can do Luthen's ship. That's about it. Honorable mentions, Agent Callus, Fourth Sister. We could go have those as well. Agent Callus, we've visited Rebels again, and the fact that we even visited Captain Rex from the Rebels show. We can go ahead and pay homage to Agent Callus. After that, I don't think there's anybody else from Rebels we can revisit. But since we're talking about Empire, since I brought up Fourth Sister, Tales of the Empire, we just saw her. Saw a little bit of her, a little bit more. We don't know her backstory. They probably want to wait until we see a little bit more action before we get her, and that's definitely understandable. Probably the same thing with Marak as well. Marak, he went into Night Sister dust, as everyone says, so maybe he had a binding contract. Martez sisters, we haven't seen them since season 7, or let me take that back, the Bad Batch, season 1. So it'd be nice to see them come about. Fee, she's currently present in the last 2 seasons of the Bad Batch. Bounty Hunter Asajj, I would like to see her come back, and that'd be nice. Who else? Mysterious Inquisitor, the one with the bullhorn mask, basically. That would be nice to figure out. Don't know. Definitely don't know. And then lastly, round it all off, what should be my useless relic for hitting a subscriber goal? I think I want to hit a subscriber goal of 250. And so just with a 250 subscriber goal, I want to go ahead and be like, oh, well, what useless character do I have available that I can relic? So I have 5 useless characters. There are Cup, Hoth Rebel Soldier, IG-86, Ugnaught, and Jedi Knight Guardian. For anyone who plays the game knows these characters practically provide useless value. There's only 2 that provide monochrome value, and it's IG-88 and Ugnaught. IG-88 and Ugnaught only provide value because they are needed for the current operations for Rise of the Empire territory battle. However, if not, like, they would not be mentioned, needed, or used for anything. So just go ahead, let me know what you think my subscriber goal is. I mean, the character for the subscriber goal should be, and I will pick the one that gets voted the most. In terms of characters that I missed that should be added to the game, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking? What do you think that I should have, or not I should have? What do you think that I should have mentioned on this list? What do you think that CG is missing? Go ahead, let me know. And again, drop a comment, a like, a subscribe, or even a share. I would greatly appreciate it. And I appreciate you being in today's Labyrinth. I understand that today was a pretty lengthy Labyrinth in this episode, but we have to be Labyrinth runners. We have to, run the Labyrinth. We have to be L runners. I think that's what I will call any viewer who comes through and sticks through. You will be now an L runner. So congratulations. As we move on to our next episode, I have a bit more speculation for you. a few conquest speculations, a few other factions I didn't speak on just yet. But just stay tuned, and we'll have more episodes. All right, don't get lost in today's maze.